Democrats won the major races the nation has been tracking. In New York City, voters told Democrat socialist Zohran Mamdani that he will be the city's next mayor, the 111th mayor, with that mayor-elect Mamdani wasting no time waging a war with President Donald Trump.
If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power. So, Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
And we are already seeing some potential fallout from the Democrats, socialists winning the New York City mayoral election. Today, not even 24 hours after Mamdani was elected, New York City's Jewish Fire Commissioner Robert Tucker handed in his resignation. An official reason for his resignation has not been released, but I am curious whether the fire commissioner's Jewish faith and the mayor-elect's anti-Semitic remarks might have something to do with this. Now moving on to New Jersey. In New Jersey, Democrat Mikey Sherrill will be that state's next governor.
Here in New Jersey, we know that this nation has not ever been, nor will it ever be, ruled by kings.
And in Virginia, Democrat Abigail Spanberger will be the next governor.
We sent a message to the whole world that in 2025, Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship. We chose our Commonwealth over chaos.
And what is a giant election result that will directly impact you, even though you might not live in California, is this. California voters have approved a new congressional map drawn by state Democrats. That means Democrats have a strong chance to gain up to 5 House seats in the midterm elections. If that happens, it makes it very likely that in the midterms 1 year from now, the House gets flipped from Republican majority to Democrat majority. California Governor Gavin Newsom said this about the approved ballot measure.
We're proud of the work that the people of the state of California did tonight to send a powerful message to an historic president. Donald Trump is an historic president. He is the most historically unpopular president in modern history.
More on that in just a moment. Also today, the United States Supreme Court hearing oral arguments over the legality of President Trump's sweeping tariffs. This decision could impact billions of dollars worth of business. We'll have more on that later this hour. And a tragedy in Louisville, Kentucky. A UPS cargo plane crashed, killing at least 9 people. We'll have more on that deadly crash coming up. And important issues all over the country about airports as the government shutdown reaches a new record of 36 days. But first, last night's election. Former Special Assistant to President Biden and former Press Secretary of the First Lady, Michael LaRosa, joins me. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, I may be the only one in the whole country that thinks this way, is the headlines. Let me pick you one from Politico. Democrats didn't just rebound, they dominated. And set me right, Michael, because they should have dominated. This was a Republican state of Virginia, a Republican state of New Jersey, a Republican city of New York City. It would have been a giant story if the Democrats had failed. And so it's not like this big whoop-de-doo victory.
You're thinking exactly the way I'm thinking. I've been saying it all day. I'll tell you what no other Democrat will go on TV and tell you, and that is New Jersey and Virginia were low-hanging fruit. These are 2 states with Democratic voter registrations that have 1 million more Democrats than Republicans. These are 2 states that Kamala Harris actually won less than a year ago, and she didn't win any swing states, but she did win these 2. So these were states that Democrats had a blue wave across Virginia. Spanberger flipped seats that Youngkin won 4 years ago, counties, I should say. They did incredibly well across the states of New Jersey, Virginia, and California, but they are overwhelmingly Democratic seats. What I would also say, the 2 consequential votes last night, if you ask me, were not so much those, but were Pennsylvania and California. And in Pennsylvania, Democrats reelected 3 more Supreme Court justices. That's so important when it comes to
the election stuff.
integrity.
Oh, right.
That is so important.
Oh, yeah, that is right. I agree, totally.
Not only that, in the 2 counties that flipped from Obama to Trump to Biden back to Trump, they elected Democrats as county executives in Erie and Northampton, and then up again in Luzerne County, which Obama won by 10 points, Trump won by 20 points. That's a state that's consequential. Those are the kind of communities that Democrats need to do well in that will change the balance of power in a year.
But even more than that is that, when everybody has election fights and they wind their way up to the state Supreme Court, this is, so who they've elected the state Supreme Court right now is going to have maybe.
That's right.
It shouldn't have an impact, but it does.
And here's the other consequence of California, and not just Newsom, the fact that he had the guts to do it, to play ball with Trump, and not just talk, but actually walk and put that state to a vote, a referendum vote. Yes, he did it. He evened up the score now with Texas. But now, will that motivate Abby Spanberger, who now has a trifecta in Virginia, J.B. Pritzker, Wes Moore? Will this light a fire under them to do the same?
But how is that the least bit courageous on part of Newsom? He knew the vote would be on the congressional district.
Sure, but
I mean, he had to know. It has a democratic state.
Sure, but it costs a lot of money. First of all, it was 90 days. It costs a lot of money to do a referendum and to put it to the state ballot.
I don't think California's been concerned about money.
I think you're probably right about that.
I don't think. I mean, what they see is an opportunity to do redistricting so that they gain 5, and if they gain 5, I guess that means the Republicans lose 5, right? Because when they get,
I think it neutralizes the 5 that the Republicans could have picked up.
Well, in any event, I mean, the 5 is a big deal when you have a House that is so narrowly divided right now.
Absolutely.
And if in a year.
Every vote, every legislature that does this is why Trump is being so smart about going to Indiana, getting 1 seat from them, getting 1 seat out of Missouri. I mean, these will add up, and as you know, there's only a 5-seat deficit as it is right now.
Which is why, so that if in a year it flips to the Democrats' majority in the House, that means that the chairman of the very powerful oversight committee that looks at the executive branch and subpoenas people there will be a Democrat, and it will completely logjam anything Trump intends to do.
That's what the party can do when you have control of the legislative branch and the Republicans, and the other side has control of the executive branch. But it
gets ugly.
As we saw the last half of Trump's first term, he basically ignored most subpoenas.
All right. Well, anyway, but it'd be a big deal.
But the Republicans did well in one place, New York. They got the candidate they wanted.
Oh, Mondami.
Yeah.
Because now they tie every single Democrat, even if the Democrat ran from Mondami, every single Democrat in the midterms is going to be tied to him.
We are going to have to own him from the suburbs of Philadelphia to the suburbs of Denver to Newport to Allentown. It's going to be it's a problem. It's going to be.
Well, here's what he did. I mean, last night after he was elected, there were some swastikas that were painted, some graffiti. I think we have the picture up there on the screen, and he tweeted it today. There it is. And he said, "This is disgusting and heartbreaking act of anti-Semitism. It has no place in our beautiful city. As mayor, I will always stand steadfast with our Jewish neighbors to root the scourge of anti-Semitism out of our city," which was he's actually paying attention to the fact that everyone says he's an anti-Semite. But he came right out of the gate with that today.
It's a good step. It's a good first step because now we're going to be watching. Now's the fun part. You campaign in poetry, but you govern in prose. And we're going to see how he does. It's great that he can dance on Instagram, but can he run the largest city in the country?
Well, he's got another problem. He just picked a fight. I mean, he's been fighting with Trump, but by picking that fight with Trump in his sort of Trump is going to pull money out of New York.
Yeah.
If he starts giving away everything that he says he has, he's going to need a bailout from the federal government because New York's going to get deep into debt.
Well,
and he's not going to get that from Trump.
Yeah, that's right. And everybody who has tried to poke the bear and poke Trump hasn't ended up in a great place where they've had to capitulate not capitulate, but had to make a deal in some way. And look, last night he gave a compelling, fiery speech, but as a famous prosecutor in California once said, I find him compelling the way I find Laurence Olivier compelling, but I don't necessarily want him running the city of New York.
Well, it appears he's on a giveaway tour, and it's fun to be giving away if you got something to give away.
Well, that's what governing's all about, campaign in poetry, govern in prose. We'll see what he thinks he can give away but now he's going to be held accountable.
Well, it's a fascinating night, and it sets us up for the midterms, which starts right now.
Right now.
Anyway, Michael LaRosa, thank you. Always nice to see you.
Fun stuff.
Coming up a Supreme Court decision that could redefine presidential authority. That when the record continues.